pieces, decide what side of the pieces you want to be the front, and label the fronts all fronts. And then, it will sound redundant, but go ahead and label the backs all backs. Again, it will just decrease the cognitive load when you're trying to do a lot of visualization later. Now, next thing we're going to do is lay out the half lap. This is what we call a half lap because it's a halfway cut and it laps onto each other, and you get a joint that looks similar to this. We're going to start by laying out where this shoulder needs to be. That's what you call something like this right here as a shoulder. So we're going to start by figuring out where that needs to be. This is a no measurement operation, and basically grab your two boards that are labeled half lap and you're going to make a corner. Keep in mind that the inside will be the inside of your picture frame and the outside will be the outside of your picture frame. So the outside corner, inside corner. I don't really want the knot on my inside edge because that's going to create a problem. So I'm going to just make sure that my front, that's on the outside edge, the inside corner is set up like this. Now you're going to take the end of your board and line it up flush to the edge of this board. And you're going to make sure that the end of the bottom board is flush to the edge of the top board. And all you have to do, get it flush, use those finger muscles to get it nice and tight. You can use clamps again if that helps you. Clamp one board down and then you only have to worry about sliding and moving one board. And get those faces smooth as a baby's butt. Then take your sharp pencil and create a nice fine line like so. You're going to do the same thing on the other half, and we can do that just by flipping these. Again, lining up the end to the edge and the end to the edge, getting the faces nice and smooth, and using a sharp pencil, draw that nice fine line. Okay, the next part of the operation, you're just going to transfer this line around all four sides. Easiest way to do that, maybe again, take advantage of a vise. That way you don't have to worry about holding it. And you want to take your ruler and you're going to slide it right up to that pencil line, your combination square, I'm sorry. So that when you make a pencil mark, it's almost like the pencil mark just continues. And now that line's transferred. I'm going to go ahead and do the same on the other edge. And then now I'm going to do the same on the face here. And that should connect those two lines. There you go. Same on this side. Notice how I'm doing it without the vise this time. Remember to leave a little room for the pencil lead. That's why you want to use a very sharp pencil. Margin of error is less. Cool, now we know the depth of the half lap. Spoke in the last video, I meant to say the width. I said the depth. This is the depth, which is what we're going to do now. We have laid out the width here. So now we're going to lay out the depth of the shoulder, which the depth is half the thickness of the board. Now your board may be different than Lulu's board, maybe different than Bobo's board. So again, this is a no measurement operation that I'm going to show you, and I call it the flip-flop method. They make a tool called a center finder. We don't have one of those, and this is readily available because you've been using it this whole project. And the way this looks is go ahead and go into the middle of your board. You can see where I've done some lines already. And basically you're going to find middle by eyeballing where you think middle is actually. Lock that thumb screw in place. Tighten that so that the ruler can't slide. And now what you're going to do is make a mark. Now again, you can always use this third hand, what we can call it, to make things a little easier. You're gonna take a sharp pencil. I've sharpened this pencil 3 times since we've done this to make sure it's always sharp. And then you're gonna test your eyeball. You're gonna pencil line it, flip, flop. And if you look real closely, you can see that I'm not centered. So I'm gonna recalibrate my eyeball by just taking this and sliding it so that the ruler sticks out a little further. And what I want is my pencil lines to end up right on top of each other. So I'm gonna scoot this in about half the distance of that gap between the pencil lines, which is just a very micro adjustment. Takes some patience sometimes. Don't get frustrated. Righty-tighty that guy, thumb screw, and then just retest it. Again, do it in the middle of your board because we're going to be doing layouts on the end, and we don't want these stray marks to get in the way of the layout. That's pretty close. Okay, the pencil marks are landing pretty well on top of each other. Okay, it's not exact middle, but it's close enough for our purposes. All right, middle, we're going to lay out the depth of our shoulder. So we want to know how far in this is. So all I need to do is take this combination square, and I can actually just use it kind of as a marking gauge as well, making sure that the shoulder, we call this a shoulder, stays flush to that face, right on that face. When I run out of bearing surface, like right here, the shoulder doesn't have a lot of bearing on this face, I can flip it to increase that, because that will help more than hurt. Okay, you can see this is dividing it in half pretty evenly. So then I'm going to do the same on this side. My third hand lost some strength. Alright, you can see now I have the depth laid out of the half lap. I'm going to go and do the same thing to my other one here. And there you go. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to fill in. See, this is my outside, this is my inside, this is front, inside, outside. So the corner is going to look like this. We have 2 ends divided in half. We have to decide which half we're going to remove with the table saw. So we've got our picture frame designed so that the corners all look the same. And we want our half lap to tenon board to be exposed on the front. Meaning, when you look at it from the back, it's actually the half lap to dowel board is exposed on the back. And so, when you lay this out, you want to think about that. That's why we clearly labeled everything front. Okay, and so go ahead and put it together how it should go. And then, actually this is gonna go like so. Label, put an I for all the board, all the insides. You can see I messed up there. And an O for all the outsides. Because the half lap to tenon board has to be exposed on the front, we know that we have to actually remove the back portion, the portion that would be on the back. So I'm just going to shade that in and put an X right there to communicate that's the part that we're deleting. This, we're going to delete the part that is on the front, because the half lap to dowel is going to be exposed on the back. So again, more shavings in there without messing up my layout lines to show me, hey, this is the part that we're going to delete. Hey, now you know how to find middle of a board using a combination square, how to use your combination square as a marking gauge, how to lay out a half lap on top of the previous videos. So, coming up, how to cut the half lap as well as do all the other joints on the picture frame, including dowel, pocket screw, and mortise and tenon.